February 25th, 2025 was one of the most monumental days of all time for VR. The brilliant developers behind Gorilla Tag unveiled their next game to be an open early access. This game was Orion Drift.
We're proud to showcase the latest feature of the Orion Array, the Driftball District. Our state-of-the-art facilities surrounding the Driftball arenas offer endless opportunities for IA recreation and socialization. From impromptu games to organized events, there's always a reason for friends to gather in the district's many levels.
In mid-October of 2023, Another Axiom, the developers of Gorilla Tag, announced at a VRML show that they were creating a VR sports game that resembled Echo VR. Echo VR was one of the most well-known VR games in its time, as not many other games were as enjoyable as this game. It was a simple sports game, but the catch was that it was in zero gravity. A frisbee was thrown into goals to score points, and you could punch opponents to stun them and pause their movement for a while. This game was one of my favorite VR games ever, next to the one and only Gorilla Tag, and its community was amazing. But then, the sad news hit. In early 2023, it was announced that Ready at Dawn, the creators of Echo, were shutting down the game for good on August 1st, 2023. This left the community in shambles. However, Lemming, one of the lead developers at Gorilla Tag, was not having this. Lemming was actually a professional Echo VR player and was not okay with one of his favorite games being shut down. He recruited lead developers from Ready at Dawn, the studio behind Echo, to join Another Axiom. They all combined their amazing game design and coding skills to create a game known as A2. A2 was the former name for Orion Drift when it was first announced. They stated they were shooting for an early access release in 2024, which obviously did not happen considering we got it a year later. People slowly got accepted into closed early access through Discord, and the game kept evolving into what we know today. And then, on February 18th, 2025, they announced open early access to be releasing in a week, on February 25th.
I hereby declare, on February 25th, we shall open these servers permanently!
Orion Drift did not used to be what it's like today. The sport that they played used to be called tackleball and not driftball, and it was played in complete zero gravity, just like Echo. The game tackleball was a lot different from driftball, and was pretty much exactly Echo VR, but Lemming wanted his game to be a little bit more original, because that was pretty much just a copy. Now, people wanted Echo VR back, but they also didn't want it to be the exact same. Some people did, but Lemming acknowledged that he probably needed to be more original, so people didn't get mad at him. Another Axiom worked for so long to make the perfect game, using great game design skills and coding like I mentioned before. And after almost a year of full development, it was finally ready. They pushed out the announcement video, everyone waited a week, and the day it came out, everyone instantly got on and the servers exploded. People were playing non-stop. It was actually insane. I was there for the first day and it was one of the greatest experiences of my entire life. But what actually is Orion Drift? Orion Drift is a VR sports game that is meant to truly maximize the potential of social VR games. As Orion Drift themselves stated multiple times, it's not just driftball, it's a way of life. Which this statement can actually be backed up like crazy, because driftball isn't the only thing inside of the actual game. Most sports games just consist of one sport and don't really have any other features, but Orion Drift has golf, volleyball, a place to hang out, parkour, scrap run, which is a completely intuitive idea, and the one and only driftball. There's so much to do in this game and you'll literally never run out of stuff. The player models are great, the cosmetics look awesome, even though they are a little bit pricey, they're so worth it because of how awesome they look. The team behind Orion Drift, Another Axiom, is working so hard to make a perfect game. But, as well as every other game on the platform, there are definitely some flaws. One major flaw is something that they really can't fix: toxicity. Toxicity ruins every single VR game. There's not a single VR game with a perfect community. And sadly enough, this is one that can't be fixed by developers. People will come into your games in 1v1s in the Driftplex, and they will just restart the game without any warning. You can try to report them, but reports don't usually do much. And that could be something that's fixed. However, people just being toxic overall is definitely not fixable. It's so sad to see that people are ruining such an amazing game. But the title of this video is that Orion Drift might be the perfect game. That's one flaw. But what's really stopping it from being amazing? As far as major flaws, to be honest, there aren't many. Orion Drift is the peak of VR. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.